Good afternoon, everyone. What we're going to be doing this afternoon, and you should have two handouts or two sets of handouts there. We're going to do another one of those Desmos investigations, okay, and you actually have your next little assignment. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both here to start. So if you don't already, okay, again, you should have this handout. Okay, you should have an iPad for you and your neighbor to share, and we're just going to review the steps of how the investigation would work. So we'll start with that handout. So this is investigation number 1. Okay, there's your equation. So again, to review how this would work, on the iPad, you're going to go into Desmos, okay, and we're going to type in our equation. So the first equation was x minus 1 times x plus 1. So y equals x minus 1, and then an x plus 1. Okay, we see our graph there, but to get the fill in that point table, we're going to go over to convert to table, and now I can write my points down. Okay, so to make it easier myself, I'm going to start with my vertex is 0 and -1. Okay, and then I have 0 and 3, and this was 0 and 3. Just double check here. Yep. Okay, now I know a bit about parabolas already, so my step so far is 1 and 3. So my next one must be going up by 5. So my next point is going to be 8 and 8. Okay, and we'll copy our graph over here. So I've got a point there, and at my zeros, and at 3, and my next one would be at 8. Okay, and I'm going to try to draw this parabola with my mouse here at home, and that's a bit sloppy. Okay, but that's what my parabola looks like. Okay, so then again, we'll fill in the details here. What's the direction of opening? That would be up. Okay, my zeros. Okay, so the zeros are where it crosses the x-axis, so that's here and here. Okay, so that's occurring at -1 and 1. Now also notice, right, that lovely name, zeros. Okay, well, if I go to my table, when I'm at -1 or 1, my y value is 0, okay, which again is why they're called zeros. What is the axis of symmetry? Okay, that's the line down the middle. So in this case, that's the y-axis, or when x is equal to 0. Okay, and what is the step pattern? Well, it's over 1 up 1, over 1 up 3, and over 1 up 5. Okay, so on your handout, okay, on the back side, there's only 2 more of these to run through Desmos. Okay, and what you're focusing on here is the connection between the equation, okay, so what I see up here, and what are my zeros, where is the axis of symmetry, okay, and step pattern as well. So again, like the last time when we did this for vertex form, okay, once you've done the other 2 investigations, there's a follow-up handout where you're going to try to read that information off, hopefully without Desmos, if you can, and then we'll kind of summarize it at the start of tomorrow's class. Okay, so this is one of the 2 tasks that you have for this afternoon. The other task is after we've spent about 3.5 days on some expanding and factoring work. Okay, this is your assignment, so the checkpoint where you're going to earn some marks for all that lovely practice you've been doing. So here's how it's going to work. Okay, you get a bunch of questions here. Okay, and you're going to start by doing your factoring. Okay, so here's the first one. Okay, this, and again, it's on your sheet, so you've got the example of how this would work. So right, I looked at this. Well, it starts with a 2, so here I'm going to have to do my common factor first. So I removed my 2 and divided everything by 2. Okay, and then I'm doing my factoring step. Say, okay, what multiplies to -15 and adds to +2? Those numbers would be -3 and 5, right? 5 times -3 is -15. 5 plus -3 is 2. And then I just write out my factors. So I have x minus 3 and x plus 5. Okay, so that's where you're getting your marks for showing that you know how to factor. Okay, and well, the other step I want you to do is then to go ahead and check. So to check that we did this correctly, then I just need to basically go in the other direction and do my expanding, right? So on my next line here, I did my expanding, right? X times x is x squared. X times 5 is 5x, and so on. Okay, when I finish this and I wanted my next step, well, it was 2 times all of this, so I multiplied everything by 2 and I tidied it up, right? And hey, look, the thing I got at the bottom, 2x squared plus 4x minus 30, is exactly the same as I started at the top, right? These two processes, factoring and expanding, are the inverses. They reverse each other's work. Okay, so there are 5 more like this that I need you to complete: 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and if you're looking for a bit of a challenge or just to even earn some extra marks, I put 2 bonus ones on the bottom of the back of the sheet. Okay, so those are your 2 tasks. Okay, if you're trying to decide which one you should put more focus on, okay, this one is for marks. Okay, the other one with the iPads and Desmos, okay, you are going to need it for the start of tomorrow's class to discuss. Okay, so you can pick and choose. Okay, but either way, both these things need to be done for tomorrow. Okay, if you can, it would probably be preferable if you could get this one handed in, your assignment, before you leave. Okay, but if not, I would like to have it first thing class tomorrow. Okay, you got a work period. You got lots of time. Okay, so please make good use of it, and I will see you tomorrow.